Well, I try to tell people this all the time, business owners. I try to tell them this all the time. And some are just like, no, I just want to do one video and that's it. Like, I'm like, well, I'm sorry. Like, that's not how things work. Yeah, you're not going to see the ROI because it comes from that. It comes from the strategic plan over time. And it's hard to get people to understand that. And if there's like one takeaway, it would be that. It's like you need to have that roadmap, and you also need to be agile. You need to be able to reassess and shift strategies if certain things happen, right? And that's where kind of like professionals come in, right?
It certainly is. Like, and you got to remember, like, the algorithms are changing all the time. Consumer behavior is changing all the time. Like, what's working today, like a perfect manicured grid on Instagram could be working, but then like now, like that worked 2 years ago. Now it's like saturated and people don't want that, right? So it's like,
let's talk about that. Let's talk about the new marketing landscape and kind of how you've adapted to everything, because you were in copyright.
Yeah.
You know, like that. This is a good subject.
I agree.
So, yeah, let's talk about how you've adapted.
So it's interesting. Like, I feel that I have, I'm definitely like left brain, but I also have that right brain that really kicks in. And so I'm very fortunate when I started my career to be using data and analytics, and I'm terrible at math. Like, not like, oh, that's cute. Like, no, like truly like crippling, and get crippling anxiety from it. However, I can look at a chart, I can look at a graph, and I can create stories. And so with copywriting, that's where I started, right? So like analyzing these changes that were taking place, and you just kind of see that over time. But it is a full-time job to really like, be up to snuff and have your thumb on the pulse. Wow. Right. So many analogies and metaphors. But no, it's true. And I think now it's a very interesting time, because it's that tug of war of things are so saturated. There's a push for creating content at an accelerated rate.
Yes.
ChatGPT and other generative AI has helped be a catalyst to accelerate that process. So now it's like you're competing even harder, right?
Yeah.
But you have to remember that, for example, Facebook in a way will penalize you, or your cost per click will go down if you have shitty content. Can I cuss on this podcast?
Oh yeah, we cuss all the time.
Okay. So like great quality content is king. It always has been. And so when you test an ad, for example, and it's not engaging and people don't interact with it, your costs are going to be higher, because they want, as you mentioned, they want to keep people on the platform, right?
Right. Keeping
them engaged. So if you have really good content, you're going to be charged less for that cost per click. So that's just like one piece. So it's this really interesting tug of war of authenticity, having the right content at the right place at the right time. But what's really cool, and I always say, like, social media is kind of like a focus group, right? Like, you 20 years ago would have paid $20,000 to a group of 20 people to look and review your product.
Right.
That stuff is for free with the social media platforms. So business owners don't look at it that way. So we're looking at changes in consumer behavior. You have the analytics, and now you have AI and this other, generative AI tools, meaning stuff that can create data, charts, visuals, text. It's a really interesting time right now.
Yeah. Social media is, it's interesting. But I always say, like, that kind of, when you're talking about cost per click, it kind of sparks something for me, because we say this all the time, is like, if you're listening, I feel like the focus right now, I think, should be creative. I'll ask you, but for me, the focus, I think, for businesses should be creative. And
so when you say creative, you mean like images?
So yeah, let me explain then. So I mean, by creative, I don't mean specifically images. I don't mean specifically videos. I mean telling a story that stands out from everyone else, something that no one's ever seen before. Right. Because that's why I love video marketing. That's why I'm in this industry, because it's a way for business owners to stand out from everyone else. You know what I mean? And I think that it's super important for businesses to focus on that right now because, like you said, cost per click. The better your video content is, you know, the lower your cost per click is going to be. And I think that's important because these businesses flood or they put a bunch of money into advertising and they think that, well, if I put a bunch of money, it's going to work. If I put $2 million, I'm going to get $4 million. Right?
Yeah,
I'm going to double my money.
The case.
That's not the case because the truth is, if your creative doesn't resonate with the audience that you are spending the money on, literally, then it's not going to work.
It's like literally throwing money away. And
Right.
that's why it's important to hire the creative team. Like when you're in a place in your business where you're ready to really drive sales and brand awareness, you need a team.
Yes.
Like, you know, you as the viewer, the consumer, you're on the other end of that. So you're thinking, oh, it's just pumping out. But there is exactly what you're talking about to stand out and to create truly meaningful stories. Like that takes a team. That is to create, you know, so many things have been created. And like when you say, you know, to be essentially original, like that's really hard. Or like you experiment with Dolly or like Midjourney and you know, the way that that's like pushing things. How do you create original concepts?
Yeah.
But that's where when you talk about script writing and how you were impressed with my script, because it's not, you know, written by a robot, right?
Yeah.
It has that human element.
Absolutely.